Good afternoon and welcome once again to our viewing audience to our MCC Community Outreach Update Show. And I am your host, Mary Ann Williams. We are certainly excited today to have with us one of our very own, a very special guest, Mr. Willie German. He's a longtime employee here at MCC, and he is leading and coordinating the initiatives for the men of color. Welcome, Mr. German.
Well, thank you. Hi, Mary.
Good. It's good to have you with us today. May I call you Willie today?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Why don't you begin telling us a little bit about yourself, your job here at MCC, and exactly what is your involvement with this men of color?
Okay. Actually, I was born and raised here in Muskegon, attended Muskegon High School, and went to community college for a while, then went on to pursue my education at Baker and then Western Michigan University. And I was employed in 2006 here in the Information Commons Department as one of the supervisors. And I've been here 11 years. Now that job description has changed a little bit. The college has adopted the Minority Male Community College Collaborative Initiative, wow, which we call the M2C3. And this initiative is an initiative that's actually under the umbrella of the My Brother's Keeper. And what we do is look at ways to represent men of color that's underserved, by trying to bridge the gap, provide resources, and to get them to the completion of graduation by helping them retain and persist and also succeed.
Wonderful. That's good. Now, we've all heard about the My Brother's Keeper, and you know, I'm involved in that myself with the literacy portion. So why don't you tell us exactly now the MC3, what is it called?
M2C3.
M2C3.
Right.
But now this initiative that we're starting here is called Men of Color. Now, what brought that about?
Well, again, that all falls up under that umbrella of My Brother's Keeper. But this initiative here is based out of San Diego State in California by a group called the M2C3, which stands for the Minority Male Community College Collaborative. And Dr. John Luke Woods is one of the persons that actually helped start this, another one with Mr. Franks Harris also. So when they adopted this initiative, they needed someone to come in and just try to work with it. And so we've had our first meetings and luncheon that started last year, 2016 in September, and we're doing 2 in the fall and 2 in the winter. But what it does, Mary, it allows us to have dialogue and conversation, inviting people in the communities, pastors, preachers, educators, regular citizens, to come in and talk about ways that we can better serve and help these young men that's underserved and meet those goals of completion.
Okay, so the bottom line is, the objective is to get men of color, young men, to stay in college, to succeed, to complete their education.
Correct.
And this initiative is will help them to realize some of the negatives that are keeping them from reaching that goal. Is that the way I understand that?
And that's correct, because these young men, if you look at the data that's out there, and there's a lot of data out there, Mary, but they find through that data that young men of color, when they start colleges, especially community college, they start but they don't finish, they don't complete. So they looked at that data and they said, hey, we have to find ways and have practices in place to help these men reach those initiatives or completions for graduation. Even if it's just tutoring or some type of alert system where, okay, this student is here is failing, if he needs to, she needs to, in all cases, because it's all students, but we're focusing on men of color, and that's African Americans, Latinos, Hispanics, and so on. So we try to find ways to help them and provide the resources necessary to keep them in school.
That sounds good, because once they are educated, we know that brings a more positive citizenship. And so that's the goal. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, I understand you've got something coming up real quick, and you've been working diligently with this. I think you were appointed to do this by the Prevost, Dr. Selman, here on campus. So what is your role with that? What do you got coming up?
Right, and this whole initiative is under the leadership also of our Provost Executive Vice President, Dr. Selman. And Dr. Nasberry, he's always been a person that empowers, me, and also I learned so much from them and being around them. So taking on this initiative that we have coming up, it's going to be on April 28th, and it's called a Men of Color Achievement Conference.
Oh.
And the purpose of this conference is to empower these young men of color and talk to them and let them know that they can achieve these goals, but they may run into some type of barriers that they may struggle with in school, or it could be something personal. And we want to help them overcome those by having speakers come out, and they can engage with these speakers. But these speakers are also going to be their role models as well, and they're going to show them and talk about ways that they went through to help them overcome these same obstacles that these students are facing right now.
Well, that's absolutely awesome, and I think there's no one more equipped to lead this than yourself, Willie, because you've been an excellent role model to a lot of the young people in the community, not only here at MCC, but outside of the campus as well. And we applaud you for your efforts that you're doing.
Well, thank you very much.
So the benefits of holding this conference, let's name them a little bit at a time here. The benefits will help them to succeed.
Correct. Right.
And name some of the other.
Well, I definitely help them succeed, but help them get a sense of belonging, because sometimes these students may be first-generation students. They may not have had a parent or sibling go to college. So once they come into a setting like this, they have to kind of find their way through. And then also you're going to be dealing with these men who, from a masculinity standpoint, where, we know men sometimes don't ask for help. And they have to find ways to interact with their instructors. So if they don't feel comfortable or feel that they belong, that could actually deter them from actually completing their courses and completing for graduation. So I think this conference would definitely benefit just not those students, but anyone that choose to attend.
Awesome. Now, one of the things that I understood and I heard you say is overcoming barriers. And some of the barriers that our men of color, not only African American, you said Latino, Hispanic, anyone, to come, that if you've got some barriers that can keep you from being successful, completing that 16-week or 15-week course of study, you'll have someone there that can help them.
Correct. Okay, and actually I just kind of mentioned who's going to be on our panel and our keynote speaker. The gentleman that's going to be our keynote speaker, he got a chance to reach out to me. His name is Jahquan Hawkins. He's from Oakland Community College. He's he's a dean of affairs there. And he has a book, Finding My Way. So we got a chance to talk, and I asked him would he like to be part of this conference. And he was more than happy and honored, and I was honored to have him also. But I got a chance to also ask our president, Dr. Dale Nasberry, our provost, executive vice president, Dr. Selman, and then also the Honorable Judge Gregory Pittman, who's also going to be on the panel. And then we have Ismael Enriquez. He's Latino descent, Hispanic, and he's our foreign language director, and also Dr. Joseph Chief Thomas, the Muskegon Heights Police Department. He has a lot of experience. So this panel is diverse, and they'll be able to engage with this audience, and they'll be able to ask questions as well.
Now, after the inquiring minds want to know, after all of this conversation, after all of these talks and all of these meetings, what is the expected return on investment?
I think we will see a more positive attitude, a climate change here on campus, confidence. These students are willing to succeed, more adept to engage with one another, and also a support system and network as well. So I think this conference can actually empower them and motivate them to achieve those goals, because the sky is the limit. And just like, you know, when I was coming through the same process, you know, I had to talk to you know, directors and my teachers and professors, but having that conversation, that network, that accessibility to come to them motivated me and encouraged me and empowered me. Now what I want to do, Mary, is reach back and try to help these young men, because I see the struggle and I know some of the struggles that I've encountered. So too much is given, you know, as the old saying something like that, you have to give back. You have to give back, and so it's pay it forward.
Exactly.
Pay it forward.
So, boy, the time went fast, Willie. But I tell you, this looks like a very good conference that's coming up. Once again, let's tell the audience what day it is, what time, what's the cost, and how they can register for this.
Okay, yes, this conference is going to be on April 28th, and it's going to start from 9 a.m. to 1. And it's going to be here at Muskegon Community College in room 1100. The cost is $10, and that's going to cover the conference and the lunch also. So actually the deadline has been extended, and we extended it to the 17th of April. So, but we will allow people to come and pay. We can't guarantee if they will get lunch if they don't register by that time. But also, Mary, it's not only open to our men, it's open to everyone, so both genders can come.
All right, we encourage anyone that have questions or needs some support to come out. Give them that phone number again, or they can email you, is that correct?
Oh, yes, and contact me directly. My name is Willie German Jr. My number is area code 231-777-0645, or email me at willie.german@muskegoncc.edu.
That's awesome. Well, you heard it first. You heard it here at MCC. And I'm Mary Williams, your host for the day. But we have a few minutes, and we just want to allow some time for our guests to have any parting words. Willie, anything you'd like to add for us?
Well, first of all, it was a pleasure working with you, Mary.
Well,
you know, for
you.
all these years, you was very welcoming, and you know, invited me, you know, in as a new employee, and I really appreciate that. And your leadership that you do in the community is greatly appreciated. And for me to have this opportunity now to give back and work with students, and as you know, part of the task force here that's working on this, I do have a new club that's actually going to be helping also.
Awesome.
And that's called the Power of Unity Alliance. So they're going to also be helping, and that's part of the leadership that I provide here, getting these groups involved in activities and community activities also to show them leadership.
Okay, and it's called again
Power of Unity Alliance.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And how can one become a part of that club?
Okay, all they have to do is just come to the meetings. Usually we hold them on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock, and depending on the room that's available, you have to check the MCC portal.
Okay.
Yep.
Power of
Unity Alliance.
And you can join the club on campus right here at MCC by contacting Mr. German at willie.german@muskegoncc.edu, or call him at 231-777-0645. Well, we're almost out of time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. I look forward to coming in and maybe just checking on the conference, see what's going on, and shaking hands and meeting a few people. I can really attest to some of the barriers that I've gone through as an older, well, a more mature person going back to school. So we thank you for your efforts.
You're welcome.
And great success at this conference. I know it's going to be awesome.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Okay, you have a great day. Well, I want to hear from you. Send me an email, mary.williams@muskegoncc.edu, or call me at 231-777-0582. I'm always looking for a new show, and I want to hear from you. You'll see me next time on the MCC Community Update Show. Bye now.